Good morning and welcome in on this Wednesday. Dan Hardebrook, glad to have you along. Time now to take a look at your latest local news from around the region. It is your Newberry News Update on M123 FM. Your news today and every Wednesday brought to you by your two-time award-winning local newspaper of the year. It's the Newberry News. Let's check out this week's front page headlines. A parade of lights. Looking back on this past weekend's Christmas celebrations in Newberry. The Tahquamenon Area Schools Board of Education has announced they're beginning to search for a new superintendent. The roof of the old roller rink in Newberry collapsed under heavy snow loads. The free fellowship dinner First Presbyterian Church is tomorrow night, in field research on the power of the Tahquamenon Falls. Those stories and more available inside this week's edition of your award-winning Newberry News. It's available now. In your latest local news this morning, troopers from the Michigan State Police say that a house fire in Trout Lake is under investigation. Troopers from the Michigan State Police and emergency crews responded to the house fire at approximately 1:45 p.m. yesterday afternoon. Troopers from the Michigan State Police Sault Ste. Marie Post and emergency crews responded to the report of a house fully engulfed in flames on West Main Street near M123 Highway in Trout Lake Township. When the trooper from the Michigan State Police arrived, the Trout Lake Fire Department was already on the scene fighting the fire. They were soon joined by departments from Whitefish, Holbert, and Hendricks Townships. The home where the fire started was deemed a total loss, but fortunately, all three occupants and their two dogs were able to safely escape. Troopers did say that one cat was reported to have died in that house fire. The neighboring house also suffered damage from the fire, but thanks to quick work of firefighters, that home was not a total loss. In addition to fire departments that responded, the Michigan State Police was assisted by the Chippewa County Sheriff's Office, and the Straits Area EMS was on site in case of injuries. However, no injuries were reported. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. More than 50 people participated in Engadine's Wreaths Across America ceremony this past weekend as part of a nationwide event that took place on Saturday. Approximately 140 wreaths were laid on veterans' graves at the Garfield Township Cemetery in Engadine. The program began at the Fenley McNeil Nesbitt American Legion Post 290, where wreaths were placed on stands representing each branch of the U.S. military and one for POWs and MIAs. Following the program, participants proceeded to the cemetery to lay the wreaths at veterans' grave sites. The Newberry Fire Department's ladder truck draped the American flag across the entrance of the cemetery during the wreath laying, along with an engine from the Garfield Township Fire Department. All participants who participated in the ceremony at the cemetery took less than an hour to help pay their tributes. A rifle volley salute and playing of taps concluded the day's events. Engadine's Wreaths Across America program was sponsored locally by Valuers for Vets, which also held a pasty sale to raise funds for the wreaths. The group is planning to hold the event again next year with the addition of the Bethlehem Lutheran Cemetery and Newton Township Cemetery in nearby areas. Wreaths Across America is a nonprofit organization which is founded by Morrill Worcester, owner of the Worcester Wreath Company. Engadine joined more than 4,700 other locations participating in this year's programs. The Tahquamenon Area Schools Board of Education is looking to fill a vacancy with the new year soon to be upon us. The work never stops for local area school boards. Currently, the TAS board has a vacancy that needs to be filled for a 2-year term. An individual will be appointed to fill the vacant position that will expire December 30th of 2026. Interested candidates can submit a letter of interest to the TAS district office by 3 p.m. on January 8th. Following a review of submitted letters, the board will schedule interviews with selected candidates. Not all candidates for the board vacancy will be interviewed in the process, only a set of finalists. Questions on the vacancy can be directed to TAS Superintendent Stacy Price. You can call 906-293-3226. There's more information available in this week's edition of the Newberry News. A local wintertime event that is a favorite for many is scheduled to make its return this season. After several years of battling unpredictable weather conditions, sled dog racing is set to return to northern Luce County as part of this year's winter festivities. Officially announcing the return with a slightly tweaked event will be a popular sled dog race series that takes place at the Muskellonge Lake State Park. It'll be the 25th annual Tahquamenon Country Sled Dog Race. This year's event's been scheduled for January 11th and 12th. It'll start at the Muskellonge Lake State Park on County Road 407. Racing will begin both days at 9 a.m. with the youth class kicking off the action on Saturday. Now, there's an alternate race start location for this year's event. That'll be the Headquarters Lake State Forest Campground, 3 miles south of Muskellonge at County Road 407. You can join in for a community dinner on Saturday night, January 11th at the American Legion Post 74. It'll be $15 for a spaghetti dinner. Proceeds supporting the Newberry High School athletes through the Tahquamenon Area Sports Boosters. The dinner purchased will support the sports boosters in the new track fund. Doors will open for that dinner at 5:30. Dinner will be served at 6 p.m. There'll also be a silent auction with bidding available as well. It's all part of the Superior Crown Sled Dog Series, the 25th annual Tahquamenon Country Sled Dog Races, again scheduled for January 11th and 12th, the Muskellonge Lake State Park. St. Gregory's Catholic Church in Newberry is reminding the community of their free community Christmas dinner. That'll take place Christmas Day from 1 until 3 p.m. at the church on West Harry Street. The meal will include a turkey dinner with all the fixings, homemade desserts, and beverages. And each resident who comes out will get a goodie bag to take home. There'll be musical entertainment, and the church basement is handicap accessible. Mark your calendars and come on out for the St. Gregory's Community Christmas Dinner from 1 until 3 on Christmas Day. I'm Dan Hardenbrook. That is your latest local news this morning. It's your Newberry News Update on M123 FM. Your Wednesday news brought to you by your two-time award-winning local newspaper of the year. It's the Newberry News. It's Wednesday. That means the latest edition of your award-winning Newberry News is available now. Time now to check in with sports this morning. A busy night last night in the local high school sports scene. Boys and girls basketball and ice hockey all in action. The Newberry Indians get bragging rights over the Engadine Eagles following their first rivalry matchup of the season. Newberry won both the JV and varsity contests down in Engadine last night. The boys' varsity game ending with a 55-34 win for the Indians. Newberry boys will be back in action with a long trip tonight. They're scheduled to be in Stevenson for non-conference action. The JV game starting at 6 o'clock Eastern time, and the varsity to follow. Newberry Lady Indians also winners last night. They beat Superior Central at the J.L. DeCook Gymnasium. Final score in that contest, Newberry 37, Superior Central 26. Another EUP conference action last night. It was Pickford knocking off Cedarville Detour 64-42. Panthers continue to hold the early lead in the boys' EUP conference standings. Brimley knocked off Rudyard in a back-and-forth battle. The Bays edging the Bulldogs 70-57. It was a tough night on the ice for the Manistee Emeralds varsity co-op hockey team. They played in one of their biggest games of the season, welcoming in the Escanaba Eskimos to the Little Bear West Arena in Manistee. It was all Eskimos in that contest. They end it early in the third period. The 9-1 Mercy win. Only goal for the Emeralds coming from A.J. Berger late in the second period. High school hockey team is off until Thursday night. Only one game locally on the calendar for tonight. That's that Newberry basketball game at Stevenson. Thursday, another busy night for the local teams. High school hockey will be at Negaunee as the Emeralds take on the Miners. It's a 7 o'clock start. The Newberry girls will be home against Manistee while the Engadine boys travel to Kearney-Nadeau. Friday night, Newberry girls will be in Pickford for EUP conference play, while Engadine will host Brimley. And Saturday, high school hockey action in Manistee as the Emeralds welcome in Gaylord. Follow the Newberry News each and every week, as well as M123 FM and the UP Sports Network on Facebook for full updates on the winter sports season for the local high school sports teams. Your latest local weather forecast for the day today. Well, it's a winter weather advisory in effect till 1 a.m. Thursday morning. Lake effect snow expected throughout the day today with accumulations anywhere from 2 to 7 inches. Most of the snowfall in western Alger County along north of M28. Isolated amounts in snowbelt areas could see 8 inches or more possible for Alger, Luce, Schoolcraft, and portions of Chippewa, Tahquamenon County as well. Here's what you can expect locally today. Newberry and the surrounding areas, snow showers. Cloudy skies, a high near 30. Northwest winds 5 to 15. New snow accumulation 1 to 2 inches possible. For your Thursday, 40% chance of snow, cloudy, a high in the low 20s. Friday, mostly cloudy, a high in the mid-20s. I'm Dan Hardenbrook. This is your latest Newberry News Update on M123 FM.
Covering stories that interest the community, readers have come to depend on the Newberry News. Subscribe to the digital edition for early Wednesday morning access or get the print edition delivered to your doorstep. The Newberry News, your news and information leader.